today's webinar. My name is Prajakta Kanhare and I'm going to be the facilitator for today's webinar. Um, just a sec. Sir, Praveen sir?
Yes, ma'am, we are live on YouTube. You can go ahead.
Great. All right, thank you. So, like I said, today's webinar is going to be really interesting because we are going to get really good insights into how to plan your career, what are the do's and don'ts of planning what you want to do in a career, right? So, let me first introduce you about the institute that I'm from. So I am from a Symbiosis Center for Emotional Wellbeing, which is also called as SKU. So at SKU, we aim to provide promotive, preventive, and curative mental health care services within Symbiosis community. So what we essentially do is that we offer counseling, psychotherapy, and even psychiatric consultation to the staff, to the students, and to the faculty members of Symbiosis. Uh, this institute was established in 2018 by the director, Dr. Girija Mahale. She is she is a psychiatrist, and our deputy director is Dr. Rahul Bagle. We have recently developed a mental health BSc in mental health course. I'll be talking about it a little while later. Let me now introduce you to the main person of this webinar, which is Miss Madhura Londhe. So she's an assistant professor of psychology. She specializes in counseling psychology. She has over 8 years of experience in school psychology, career counseling, and teaching. She's been on various panels on social media accounts, which discuss the effect of pandemic on students. And she has very recently published a paper in the BPA conference. So I'll quickly, without any further ado, I'll just quickly let ma'am talk about it. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, hello, good morning to everyone. And thank you for having me here and giving me this opportunity to interact with everyone about a topic that is very close to my heart, which is career counseling, not career counseling, career planning, basically, and something that helps us understand better about why it would be important to really give it a thought and be very careful about choosing a career and how to go about it. So I hope I'm able to really give away good pointers to everyone here. I believe that we mostly have 12th standard crowd over here, and I'll be talking in that context, of course, but anyone who has any questions can is it okay if they just put it in the chat or something parallelly?
Yes.
If possible, I can take it up in between or at the end. Both is
Yes.
fine.
Yeah. All right.
Yes. Okay. All right, so I do have a PPT prepared and a presentation that is more like a flow of, so that I don't miss out on things. But I would also like if people can, continuously say something in the chat if that's like a response to what I'm saying, so that it is more interactive rather than me just speaking one way. So if you have any inputs or comments on something that I say, please feel free to share that as well. I'll be sharing the screen and then we'll just go through things in a particular flow so that I don't miss out, like I said. So we start with the topic or the title for today, basically, which is career planning. And the first thing that comes to mind is why do we need to plan? Okay, and I could just probably do my 10th standard and 12th standard and then look at what is the most trending thing at that moment. And we have maybe heard from our elders or those who are very senior right now in the meeting. We have seen trends that, in this particular 2-3 year span, there were so many people who did MBA, and maybe 10-15 years back there were so many people who did engineering, Okay, and there is this trend that comes. So I would probably think that I complete my 12th, I'll complete my graduation, and then I'll see what people are doing, I'll see what is having the most scope right now, and then I'll jump into that field, because then I'm likely to have a good 10-15 years down the line, because it is something that is very in right now. Okay, so first we need to understand what is a career, basically, and then the second part of it, which is planning, and why do we need to plan. So career is basically an occupation. It is something like a task or an activity which you have taken up. It is undertaken for a significant period of a person's life. I think that part is most important, because even if you consider the number of years you spend in schooling and education, it may not be more than 25 at the most, right? And even if I do a double master's and I do a PhD or whatever, at certain point, it's going to be limited. And after that, once I start working, we most of us have this ambition that I start working very quickly, and I don't have a long education or a long struggle to really start working well. After that, till the point you retire, or even certain careers which may not have a retirement age as such, and then you can continue for whatever time you want. So a significant amount of time in your entire life you're going to spend in this particular occupation. Okay, so it's very important that we don't want to get into something which is not very suitable for us, and we don't want to regret later, okay, that I have been in this field for 10 years, but now I don't feel so happy about it, and now let me change. Okay, so significant period is very important, and I think more than half of our lives on an average we would be spending in this particular occupation. So opportunities for progress, the second part of it, is equally important, because it is not something that is going to be stagnant. Okay, any person who starts with a first job, who starts with a certain occupation taken at hand, you will always want to progress there. You want to get promotions, you want to do better. It may not be in terms of a certain hierarchy that you follow, but you definitely want to be better than what you did yesterday. Okay, and maybe in the last 3 years I have developed these set of skills, and today I am better at my job than I was 3 years back. So this is kind of progress which everyone wants to see. To compare it with something like a hobby, for example, where we may not really look for opportunities for progress. So maybe I really like music and I like listening to songs, which is a hobby. So I will listen to songs on a daily basis, maybe while working, maybe while doing something else. But then I don't look for any opportunities over there that I want to listen to more number of songs or more music. Okay, that is not really the aim, and that is more like a recreation. So this is something which helps you feel better about yourself. It helps you to feel a sense of achievement that I have done something about my career, about something that I took education in. So progress is something that we all seek from a career. So this is roughly a idea of what a career is. Now, why is career planning important? Why do we need to really plan this? Like I said, it is a significant period of our life. So if I'm spending 30-40 years of my life into something, it is important that I plan it well. It is important that I give it a thought of what really is something that I would want to do for 30 years. And we might have seen a lot of people around us, some of them being very happy at their jobs, some of them being above 50, maybe our parents' generation and somebody else. And they being very satisfied that, okay, I really wanted to be here. I have had a great journey in my workplace, or I have had good opportunities for growth and so on. But there would also be some people who may not be that happy. Okay, and if you ask them questions about how did you decide your career, again, the first part that we started with, they might give you answers like everyone was doing it. Okay, and that time this was really a good field. Okay, and that is why maybe my parents suggested that I should do this, my friends suggested, and that is why I'm here. But now I contemplate, maybe I should have done something else, maybe I should have studied a different subject and so on. So because it is significant, we need to give it a thought. That is the first thing. It should not become boring for us. It is something that is going to go on for a long period of time. And if I start getting bored, okay, so many memes and social media content about Mondays not being so fun, and the weekend is over and you have to get back at work. So again, it's funny, and let us take it at that level. But the deeper meaning again being that if you're not happy with what you're doing, then the whole exercise of going back to your office is really boring. Okay, and we don't want to get into this loop where I'm never excited to go for work. So we should not, we don't want something that is going to be boring for us. It should not be difficult. It is as important as maybe our interest. It should not be difficult in the sense that everyone would have a different set of capacities. Okay, a lot of people identify in school that this particular subject is something I never understand. Okay, and I find it very difficult to understand this. A lot of people coming for arts, I think, have this rationale that I wanted to leave maths. Okay, and I was really bad at maths, and that is why to escape maths I have taken arts. That is a very, very common answer. So if I took up something that was very maths based, I'm into finance, for example, or I'm doing accounts, okay, and I had difficulty studying maths in school, then my entire career is going to be difficult, okay, because I may not possess that skill or that aptitude for mathematics, and then I'm into that field on a daily basis, and I constantly have to do numbers. Okay, and then I find it very difficult, and it's a great struggle to every day complete my tasks and work at hand. So I don't want something that will be very difficult for me, something that is very easy. So for example, I had to take this webinar and I am caught up in so much of other work as well. I have taken a session similar to this before. So I am very confident about talking, regarding this field, which is something that is very close to my heart. So it is very easy in the sense that I did not have a lot of stress that, I have not made a PPT yet. What will I do tomorrow? I was sure enough that I spent half an hour on this and I will be able to do it. So that is when your profession is very easy for you if you consider your abilities as well. It should not be frustrating. So we are going to look at all these 3-4 dimensions that I'm talking about. Frustrating in the sense that sometimes our personality characteristics, something that is in our nature by nature as a person, does not match the kind of job we are in. Okay, and so if I was a person who was extremely shy, for example, and then I'm in a field where I have to interact with people every day, I have to initiate conversations, I have to make presentations and so on. It's going to be frustrating because my nature is not that of a very bold person and confident person who likes to speak, who likes to give lectures. But as a part of my job, I need to deliver this. So I am also a teacher, for example. And if you ask me, if I was a very shy person and you ask me to go into a class of 50, 60 students every day and teach them something, it would have become very frustrating for me. I would probably prefer working on a laptop by myself and doing things by myself. So I don't want an experience which is very frustrating because, again, something that is going to go on for 30, 40 years, we cannot really have that patience to, survive through the entire thing. Also, changing careers is not easy. In our system right now, we are getting into very liberal ways of education, and we have the new education policy coming up. But right now, at least, the switch from one career to the next is not very easy. So if you have seen people who have had a shift in career, they will probably tell you that it was difficult. So I was already into this job. I had already studied this particular subject. I have spent 7-8 years on it. Okay. And then I feel that, okay, I should have done something else. Then getting that switch is very difficult. We had a student, I would call her a student because she's a classmate, in my master's class. And when I was doing master's, she was already above 40 years of age. Okay, and her educational background was that she had done BCom and she was working in LIC for almost 10-15 years. And after that, when her kids went to school, she met a counselor there, and then this field fascinated her so much. She had to go back to the first year BA because there was no arts background. She went back to first year BA, completed her graduation, completed her master's in psychology after the age of 40. So, of course, very few people would have this level of dedication, but you will see that changing a career was so difficult, and you had to spend, 5-6 years of education again after the age of 40 because you want to have a switch. So that is again not going to be easy. So better plan it beforehand before getting into something that is going to be long term. Just a second. Yeah. Now, how to not choose our career? So there are so many other external influences. There are so many people telling us what should be done, what should not be done. So there are some ways which we should avoid. Okay, and it's not like you will always end up making a wrong decision or something, but the chances are higher because you have considered factors which are not related to yourself. Okay, so if I say peer influence or peer pressure, so many students after 10th standard saying that all my friends are taking science, so I'll also take science. All my friends are studying psychology, so I will also study psychology. Everyone is doing medical, so I'll also do medical. Okay, and then this concept of how we'll go to college together and go to classes together, and then we'll be friends for a long time. Okay, these are answers which students give a lot of times. But what happens is something that is suitable for them, something that they are good at, not need not be the same thing which is suitable for you. So if my decision is based on what others are doing and what my peers tell me, okay, is something that is good, I am more likely to make a wrong decision for myself because I have not considered factors related to me, but they are factors related to other people. Okay, same goes with parents, family, societal pressure. Again, the intention of all these people is really nice. Of course, they are going to do a lot of research. So any parents also that you see, a lot of parents who might have their own business, they might have set up something so well after years of effort, and then they might have this very good intention that it is ready for my child. Okay, and you get into the same business that I am in, or you take up the same profession that I am in because I will be able to help you. So all the intentions are really good, but again, the combination of factors that we are going to look at for choosing our own career, they will not be the same for all people. So even though the parents, family, other family, extended family, societal pressure, like I was saying, that it's a trend right now to do MBA and the whole world is doing MBA, so I should also do MBA, is societal pressure. Okay, but we are not considering our individual factors, so we are more likely to make a mistake there. Many a times we also choose based on a single factor. So this field is giving us a lot of income these days. Okay, or people in the IT sector are really earning good amount of money right now. Okay, that is why I want to get into that. People who are actors or into media, for example, they have a lot of glamour associated. Okay, there are influencers right now, so many students saying, if you ask them the preference, what is your career choice, there are students saying that I want to be a YouTuber. Okay, as if that is the entire profession. So you are carried away by these factors like glamour and money, fame, and so on, which is again the same thing, whether I will be good at it, okay, whether I will love to do it for a long period of time, and the kind of success that I might get is going to be dependent on all this. So I might look at a comedian and think that, okay, stand-up comedy seems to be really in these days, and there are so many people getting famous because of that. But do I have the sense of humor to make people laugh and to have a show by myself for 1 hour? If not, then we go back to the previous slide. It's going to be difficult, it's going to be boring, it could be frustrating. So then it is not my field. Okay. Gender stereotyping doesn't happen a lot these days, but a very common notion that some fields are more suitable for boys, some fields are more suitable for girls. Something like that. So, a male student taking up arts is not really appreciated a lot in many families even today. Okay, a girl going into the army or something related to defense is not something that people might appreciate. So do not make your choice based on such stereotypes and what is common for a certain gender. Okay, so that is another error we are likely to make. So what factors are important, and while we are studying, what are the things that we can look at, okay, which will help us decide individually and not get into peer pressure or societal pressure and so on. So what are my favorite subjects? These are going to indicate your interest. Okay, so whenever I study chemistry, for example, in school, I used to feel very happy studying chemistry. I used to enjoy. I never got bored when there was a chemistry exam. Okay, but if there was a maths exam, if there was a geography exam, I used to get very bored the day previous to the exam, and I never wanted to study. I never felt like giving the paper. I used to wait for the paper to get over. Okay, but it was not the same for some other subject. So what are your favorite subjects in school or in junior college? They will indicate the kind of interest you have. So this is something you enjoy doing, So even if you take up something that is chemistry based, I will not get bored in my life, okay, because my paper was very enjoyable. My high scoring subjects, so where do I score better? Maths, I make a lot of silly mistakes. And then I don't score well in maths because I may not be so good. I don't understand it very quickly. But English is something that I like. Okay. And if you ask me to write essays, I can write them very well. And I always get better marks than anybody else in class. And I always score well in English. I get full marks in grammar or something like that. So that shows your ability, that my talent might be related to this particular subject, and then I probably will not find it difficult to take up fields which are related to that particular subject. Similarly, my temperament, what is the kind of personality characteristic I have as a person. So whether I would like to work in a 9 to 5 job in a corporate office in air conditioned glass door cabins, okay, or would I love to travel? Would I love a job which asks me to go to places, meet new people, understand culture? Okay, is that more suitable, or is a desk job very suitable, where I can just go there at 9, come back at 5 and I'm done? Okay, I always give this example also of medical professionals, where you might have certain specializations even in medicine which require you to go rush to the hospital in emergencies, for example. So am I okay with such adventure that I might get a call at 2 o'clock at night and they ask me to report to the hospital immediately, there is an emergency? Will I be bored to get up and go, or will I be excited that yes, I want to go and help somebody? So that is my temperament. The kind of job I see myself doing, this is a lot to do with what we see around us. So I might see parents, I might see cousins, I might see neighbors doing certain jobs, people I know really well. Okay, and the kind of lifestyle they have, the kind of work that they do, can I visualize that I am in this same position and I'm actually doing this? In my 10th standard, I had visited a physiotherapist, my mother's friend. I visited her clinic just to get a hang of what a physiotherapist does. Okay, and then there were so many kids coming to the clinic to get the exercises and the rehabilitation done. And then I could not visualize myself that way, because the kind of pain they were going through doing those exercises, the children were all crying. Okay, it really upset me that time. And then I could not visualize that every day I'm going to this place, and I will not be able to take such a scenario. So whether you can see yourself that, I think I suit this kind of setup and I would be doing this 10 years down the line. Role models. So we don't choose role models very consciously, but we happen to like certain people, we happen to look up to some people, and we like to think that, okay, I want to be like this person. So also keep a watch on who are your role models, who are the people that you like. Do you like people who are into very managerial kind of positions? So I like this person, their personality, but their designation at their workplace could be that of a CEO, and they are the head, and they are leaders, and they are managing so many people. Is that what I like about people, and those people end up being my role models? Or do I like people who are probably into social work? Okay, and then people who are helping others, people who are visiting places, they're looking at underprivileged class, okay, and helping them out with something. So do I like those kind of people? So my role models speak a lot about what my preferences are likely to be. Okay, and of course fields which interest me. So we might be exposed to a lot of professions while we are watching TV, while we are watching a movie, and in that also there are different kind of professions being shown nowadays. So whether that excites me, what is this person's occupation, I want to know more about this. Okay, so that's a field that would definitely interest you. So these are factors which you should be looking at while you are taking education, and keep a watch on all those things for yourself, for yourself to get insight into what is going to be more suitable. We do have career assessment in psychology. If you do a counseling psychology masters, for example, you will be taught career assessment. So basically 4 factors are being measured. So we encourage a lot of students from school to get the assessment done. Okay, most often what happens is, something like interest. People think that I know my interests very well. Okay, but what happens is if I ask you, so do you like science, for example, a school experience that we have, we are likely to give our answer based on so many other factors apart from the actual subject science. Okay, so did I have a teacher in school whom I really liked? Okay, so if I like the teacher, I also like the subject. Okay, this particular teacher always gave us easy question papers and I always scored well. So I love science because I always get full marks in science. Okay, this teacher always asks me questions and praises me in class. So I like her and that is why I like this subject. So no, not consciously, of course, that won't be the reason, but we are influenced by all these factors that happen around us. And again, being maybe friends, okay, who likes what subject, and then we tend to go with the flow and say that I also like it. So our expressed interests, our expressed personality characteristics. If I ask you, are you a short-tempered person? The ideal answer is not to say yes. Why would somebody admit that I am short-tempered? Why would somebody admit that I panic a lot? Okay, and I take a lot of stress about everything. So when you express these factors, you may not be very accurate about them, and your judgment could be clouded by so many other experiences. When you get assessment done, psychometric assessment, we call it scientific assessment, then these biases are removed and we get genuine factors, genuine answers to what is really interesting for you, what is really your personality. So we usually measure four things. There is intelligence, which is a very general, broader ability of a person. So if I have to take a lot of higher education, I want to be very up in the hierarchy in whatever profession I want to be, a basic comprehension and understanding would be required. So people typically with higher levels of intelligence will probably find it easier to get into such fields, okay, where there is a lot of moving up the ladder. Okay, again, not saying that something is good or bad, okay, but it's very important for us to know our limitations, because again, if I get into something where I'm weak, okay, nothing wrong about it, but if I do get into something where it's not my strength, it is going to be difficult, and I don't want to spend 30-40 years of my life struggling every day to complete what I'm given, right? So intelligence is important. Aptitude is our specific ability in different sectors. So am I good at maths? Am I good at visualization? Am I good at mechanics? Okay, so these different aptitudes are measured in the assessment. Interests are measured. So what are the areas you would like to work in? What are the kind of industries or sectors where you will enjoy working? Okay, and what are your personality characteristics? So are they going to match the kind of job that you take up? Like I said, I'm a very shy person, but I have to talk to people every day, every single day. I'm not going to like that profession, and it is going to be very frustrating. So career assessment is something you will find available in a lot of institutions. So, if you are very confused about what you really want to do and not able to figure out, this is a very, very good advisable option where, again, like I said, in your expression, your biases come into place, but assessment is more scientific and standardized. So just to take up an example, when we talk about these 3-4 factors, I would like to raise this question as well. If you have answers, you can always type them in the chat. I'll probably read it out. So what kind of aptitude would be required for a psychologist? I suppose everyone would roughly have an idea of what a psychologist would do. So we have seen therapy sessions, counseling sessions, even portrayed in the media. So it is someone who's going to be a listening ear to people's problems, people's difficulties, okay, and help them out whenever they are in need. So what kind of aptitude, what kind of skill set would be required to be a psychologist? What interests would be required? What should be my interest area so that I can be a good psychologist? And what should be my personality characteristics if I want to be a psychologist? Okay, I'll probably take a few seconds pause. If anyone has answers, you could type them in the chat and we can read it out. Otherwise, of course, I'll go ahead with my answers to these questions. Anyone who wants to share can just type.
Please feel free to
Is
type it
enabled,
out in
right?
the
Chat.
chat box.
Yes. Okay. People person, yes. Patience, correct. People person, like I said, I need to be a very social individual. I should like people basically. I should be an extrovert, yes. because I will have to deal with people. So if I would like to be in my own room doing my own thing and I constantly face people every day, I will not be good at my job. It will be very frustrating. Patience, yes. We also have a lot of skills that we talk about in psychology as a subject also, skills of a counselor. So there we talk about, being a good listener. We talk about being empathic, okay, able to understand other people. Keen listener, yes. So I should be interested in people basically. Okay, a lot of people don't really have a lot of curiosity about others, okay, as an individual. So if you are not social, I have seen people in my family as well. If you go and try to tell them something, they will not be so bothered. They'll say, "Tum tumhara dekh lo," okay, and they may not be so curious about what is troubling you. But that interest in understanding people, that curiosity of what is going wrong, what can I do to help, altruism, your intention to help people. Okay, that is very important. Good communication skills, yes. So language ability, I would put that under aptitude. Okay, someone who has a good language ability is going to have a very good conversation with people. I should know when to say what. I should be able to interpret what people are trying to tell me. Okay, and that understanding is very important. So yes, people skills are required, communication is required, language is required, analyzing skills are required, yes. So some kind of logical thinking, some kind of reasoning, that needs to be good. So there are going to be so many things that people are expressing, but they're not explicit about it. There may be so many underlying things which are hidden behind what people are trying to tell you. So can you put the dots together, can you connect it together, and can you understand all of that together? That is a very important ability. Interest, I think we have already discussed. Interest in helping people, interest in passing on your knowledge to others. Okay, all that would be required. And then this combination is something that we look at when we do career assessment. So only aptitude is not going to be enough. I may be very good at language, but I might as well do journalism then. Okay, and why be a psychologist? So this entire combination, I like language, I like people, I'm good at language, I want to help people. All of that coming together is going to be a very ideal combination of being a psychologist. Now this is just one example. If I take something else, like say architecture, okay, so architects, what kind of aptitudes will they need? They might need some kind of technical understanding of physics as well. So what kind of material is going to go into building something, okay, and what is the whatever cement and whatever we use, okay, how much load can it take? So I need to understand physics. I will need so many measurements. I need to understand maths, okay, to entirely measure the whole thing. I will also have to be on site. I cannot be an architect sitting at home, but I will have to visit sites. I will have to go places. Okay, am I okay with standing in 40 degrees sun, okay, and then still be okay with building something? Okay, so all that is going to go together. Even for psychologists, there is a lot of teamwork that is required. You do not work with people alone, okay, but there will be doctors involved, there will be special educators, there will be occupational therapists, and so many other professionals. So can I respect the opinions of others? Can I work in a team? Okay, or for one particular client, I will have to talk to 3 more people who are dealing with the same case, okay, discuss with them, maybe make changes to my plan of therapy in a certain way according to what they are doing, and so on. So I cannot work as an individual, but I have to be a part of the team. Okay, so all these things are important. Of course, you may not really identify, or there may not be a perfect combination available, okay, but personality characteristics are something that we can change. Okay, I can try and be more patient, I can develop patience in myself, I can develop social skills, I can develop teamwork. So if I have aptitude and if I have interest, okay, can I mold my personality in a certain way? Okay, then I want to reach that combination even if I'm not at the combination right now. So how different factors interact together is very important, and on these lines we have to identify things for ourselves. Okay, apart from the scientific part that we discussed, there are a lot of personal preferences that we have. And when we do career counseling sessions also, we tell the students that something that is based on our tests is something that I can tell you that you are good at this, this is your interest, this is your personality. But how much struggle are you willing to make? for a particular profession. Do you want to live in India? Do you want to live abroad? Okay, how many years of education is fine with you? Because medical students have to study for a very, very long amount of time. Okay, architecture also is a 5 years degree, and then you do a master's probably. So there is a long education that is involved. Okay, and how willing are you to do all of this is something that is a personal preference. Money, again, how much are you going to earn? A lot of parents have this concern. So if I suggest them certain fields which are very unique and offbeat, and not a lot of people have taken them up, parents always have this concern that, when will my child start earning in that case? Okay, and do they have to wait for a long time? Okay, or are they going to start earning immediately? How important is money for somebody is also different. Okay, I might have a lot of focus on how I want to earn well. So I need to buy a car, I need to buy a house of my own, I want to have international trips very often, and I will need money for all of that. That is the lifestyle I want. So money is very important for me. But there could be another person who thinks that this particular area is what I want to work in. Even if I get less money, I'm fine with it. I always remember the Three Idiots ka dialogue where Farhan is explaining to his father that I want to be a photographer, तो घर पे गाड़ी छोटी होगी, घर नहीं होगा, but मैं खुश रहूंगा. So that is very important, that he doesn't pay that much amount of importance to money. So this is a personal preference, and we cannot be dictating personal preferences to people and say that money is not important. It might be important for that person. So you have to figure that out for yourself. What is the kind of status and respect the profession has? So like I was saying, even in case of gender stereotyping, for example, it may not be looked at with a very positive attitude. Maybe a girl joining defense forces, or a male student joining arts fields. Okay, a friend of mine, a male friend again, who's a psychologist, had trouble getting a job for a long time because of the bias again, that how is a male going to work with children and be empathetic and play with them and all of that. So a very stereotypical thing where in a school, the school counselor has to be a female. Okay, and he actually did not get jobs in couple of places because of that. So is this profession, wherever I get into, is it respectable, is it accepted in society yet? Okay, if not, he was willing to make that struggle, he was willing to wait for 2 years. But I want to be a psychologist, I want to do this, even if it takes time, it is fine. Okay, or even if people criticize, and even if people say this is not something you should do, I still want to do it. Okay, for some we might get affected by this, for some it would be important that I have a lot of status and respect. Okay, so that is again something which is a personal preference. How many years do you want to take education? So a lot of people do not want to get into medical, for example, because it's a long journey. Okay, and after 12th standard, my friends will start earning, my friends might have very good settled jobs who are in IT and other fields, and I will still be doing my MBBS, I would still be getting a master's. Okay, and this is going to go on for almost 8 years or so, and I don't want to wait that long. Then I will probably take up something like physiotherapy or occupational therapy, which is shorter. Okay, but I still get to be a doctor. So number of years education, are you willing to put in that much amount of time, is a personal preference. How much is the struggle, is that field very well settled in wherever you want to stay? So a lot of fields we'll be talking about latest trends also. In short, I'll touch upon them based on time. But in psychology, for example, forensic psychology is something a lot of people are interested in, something that deals with criminal investigation and forensic science and people working in that sector. A friend of mine completed her diploma in forensic psychology, but in India, you do not have a post of a forensic psychologist anywhere. Okay, so earlier in whichever institutes they needed a person like this, they have appointed a clinical psychologist already, but no new posts which say that this is the title, forensic psychologist is what you are looking for. So again, she had a lot of struggle finding a job, and till she got a job in the forensic sector, she had to be a school counselor, she had to do some other kind of practice counseling, things that she didn't really want to do. Okay, but she was ready for the wait, and finally she is into forensic psychology. So how much struggle is required for a certain field which is not settled enough? Okay, and whether I am willing to do something unique and go through the struggle, or do I want something that is mainstream, so I know that MBA finance करके job मिल जाएगा, so I want to do that. Okay, that is a personal preference. India or abroad is something that is very trending again right now. A lot of students wanting to study abroad, settle abroad, and so on. So what field are you choosing might also depend on something like this. Okay, this might sound a little overthinking kind of a thing right now. Okay, but it's very important. So a lot of people ask me, it's my personal preference, of course, personal opinion, about psychology, for example, that in other countries you have a lot of specializations in psychology and you have more scope for psychology, so should I go there? So my answer to them is that psychology is going to be based very much on culture. Okay, and if you are going into another country, their culture, their way of life, the experiences that those people have are going to be very different. Okay, if you get education there and then you're coming back to India, for example, it is almost like studying things from scratch because people here are going to be so different. Okay, but if you want to settle abroad, then it does make sense that you take education there and then you continue working with people wherever you have studied. Okay, so cultural differences are huge in cases like these. So it is important to give it a thought whether I would want to be here or abroad, maybe take education that way. There are some fields which are not really popular in India yet. Okay, or even in the science stream, wherever you have a lot of research based jobs, that is not something which is very developed in our country right now. So people taking up environmental science, for example, completing a master's and PhD, do not have very great opportunities in India, but if you go abroad you do have opportunities, right? So is my preference towards settling abroad. I don't want to take something up which is not having scope here, but I want to stay in India, then it's going to be frustrating. Okay, so that way also you can plan better and look at where opportunities are better and where this field is going to boom in a better manner, and then consider that for your decision. Can we have two careers? This is something that is trending, I would say. People learning multiple things, people doing multiple things, and not a very traditional way of a career where you take up a job and for a long period of time you are in the same company. Okay, so a lot of people switching jobs in between for growth, of course, learning something else parallelly, okay, apart from the academic education that you have taken. So can we have that? The answer is yes, of course. A lot of people are doing that, in the sense that people have parallel careers. There is one particular job that you take up based on your academic education, which takes up, say, most amount of your day and most amount of your week. Okay, but there are also people turning their hobbies into a side career, into a parallel career, and doing something related to that on weekends and in their free time. Okay, so instead of just liking to paint, a person is taking up freelancing projects related to drawing and painting and something, and whereas their job could be in the IT sector. Okay, so the majority amount of time the person spends is in IT, is based on their education, but apart from that they are also doing something else as a freelancer, as something that they do on weekends. A friend of mine likes history a lot, and then she's very interested into trekking and all of those things. So in Mumbai she actually conducts heritage walks on Saturdays and Sundays. So she actually takes 8 to 10 people with her, organizes these kind of treks to certain forts and certain historical places. So her job is completely different, but Saturday, Sunday she does this. So that is a parallel career. It is not a hobby. It is actually something from where she earns money and she's going to progress there as per our definition. So there are a lot of people doing this. It requires multitasking, of course, because it can't be in isolation that this time is for this job, this time is for the other job, and you will have to do a lot of things parallelly. Okay, so are you a good multitasker and are you willing to do multitasking? Both the things are important. It requires a lot of hard work. So if I'm a person who's very lazy, wants to watch movies and just hang out with friends all the time, I may not be very good at doing two careers. So requires a lot of hard work. They are termed as parallel careers. So you have one main job and then you also have something else that you do along with that, turning typically a hobby turned into a career. So I like music. I had studied music, so now I take classes. Okay, is also a parallel career. they are very good backups in the sense that in the pandemic, a lot of people realized that not all jobs are going to be very stable, right? And a lot of people, a lot of sectors got affected because of the pandemic, which were very good industries to work in, tourism, for example. Okay, and then what is the backup? What else can you do? So there were people from journalism and media fields turning to catering as a business. Okay, and so many shifts that people had in careers because there was no option. But if you have a parallel career, if you have something kept as a backup, then it is a safe go-to for you if there is any threat to your career. The importance of academic education still stays, right? Again, for the fact that the glamour and money and everything that we are talking about, something that is related to performing arts or acting and sketching, drawing, music, all of these hobbies, typically sports, for example, a career in those areas is based on your success is going to be based on so many other factors than the intelligence, aptitude, interest that we discussed. Okay, so if I'm a sports person, for example, I have a very good record in sports, but when I enter it as a career, how are other people performing? Are they better than me? Am I able to train myself to be the best? Okay, that factor becomes very important. So my individual performance is not going to determine my success, but am I better than others is something that will decide whether I'll be successful, whether I get into national teams, international teams, and so on. Okay, similarly, if I'm a very good singer, maybe something even like a luck factor, even something like contacts in the industry, all these other things are going to matter a lot. Okay, so the importance of academics, the importance of having a degree with us, that never goes away. Always, try to build a different career if you want, definitely, but don't leave academics, because that is going to be your backup in case the other thing doesn't work out. And do not take it too hard, because like I said, a lot of external factors decide your success in such fields. Okay, like acting, modeling, again, YouTuber, influencers, all these places. Also, we don't know if you're going to go viral. I cannot depend on that as a career. I need to have some academic education as well. Okay, now what are the ways to plan this career, and what are the tasks that we should do? Like I said, keep a watch on your favorite subjects, keep a watch on where you get good marks, where do you visualize yourself, and so on. But these are some tasks that we actually need to do in order to make a good plan. There should be openness to ideas. I should not be closed to certain ideas saying that ये definitely नहीं करना है, so commerce मुझे जाना ही नहीं है. Okay, if I decide that, then I am closing all the options in commerce. Okay, what if there is one particular thing which is really going to be interesting for me? Okay, but I have just closed that entire idea. Okay, designing, drawing is something I don't like, I don't want to do at all. Okay, so you not take a bachelor's degree and master's degree in design, but if you are interested in art, you could do a course on animation and graphics and web designing. It need not be a 3-year education that you take. Okay, but if I close the field entirely, drawing is not something I like, okay, then even the smaller opportunities which might have been suitable, we are closing that for ourselves as well. So be open to ideas, be open to considering different fields for yourself, even though at the surface they may not look so interesting. Explore options in the sense that be very active in terms of looking for options. I was giving this example of watching movies and series also, where a lot of different professionals are shown. So in between, I think when Family Man and all those series came up, there were too many movies and too many media content where intelligence agents were shown. Okay, and that is something that caught my interest, in the sense that not something I would want to pursue now, but just as interest, what is the education, what is something that this person needs to do to get into the intelligence agent, right? So that is an option. So I need to explore the ways of getting into certain fields. What is exactly the job profile? What I see in movies is not going to be the real thing. So if I find it interesting at the surface, I need to explore that further. Find out information. Because of Google, I think internet, everything is so accessible, and we can have like a in-depth study of websites and videos and so many things related to certain careers. So if I hear something new, I should actually Google it. I should see colleges which offer it. I should see the syllabus of these courses. What is it that they offer? Is this subject interesting for me or not? Okay, and that is going to help you shortlist and eliminate certain options. Okay, I thought this was interesting, but I saw their syllabus and I did not like the course. Okay, so that information is very important. Talk to professionals and other students who are already pursuing certain courses. So if I am interested into psychology, talk to counselors, talk to psychologists, talk to students who are pursuing the subject already. And ask them factual questions. Many a times what happens is you go to a new person, okay, a very unique professional if you find, and then you ask them, how is this field? It's a very broad open question, okay, and they will probably answer on the basis of whether they like it or not. So like I said, a person in their 50s is very tired of their profession now. So I've been in this field for 25 years and I don't like it. They are going to give you boring answers because it is subjective. Okay, it is possible that the field is very suitable for you, but it was not suitable for that person. That is why they are exhausted. So they will tell you this is not interesting. You have to go to office every day. You have to do this. It's very boring. Okay, but it's a very subjective answer. It may not apply to you. So ask factual questions. What is the work that you do? Okay, what are the different designations? What is the hierarchy in your organization? Okay, you probably have a 9 to 5 job, but can I do something different in this thing? Okay, can I have my own company in this particular sector? How difficult is it to start this? Okay, these are factual questions which are not based on their experience. Okay, if they are liking it, they will give you very positive answers. If they don't like it, they will give negative answers, but those are subjective, so it may not apply to us. Okay, and get experience. Nowadays it is getting easier to actually get into internships, do volunteering and so on. A lot of organizations are encouraging practical exposure to students. So wherever possible, even if you can visit a place, like I said, it was my mother's friend who had a who had a clinic, and she's a physiotherapist. So I need not do internship, but at least I got to visit the place. Okay, so get experience in terms of actually living the life of that professional. Okay, go and see how the place is like, go and see what the people are doing. You may not follow, you may not get work there at the onset, but that visualization of whether I can see myself doing this, that picture becomes clearer. Okay, I loved that entire day I spent over there, and I would like to spend more days like this. So let me get training and get into that field. Okay, that clarity is much greater when you get experience. Okay, in case of latest trends, computerization is something that is happening everywhere. So these are broader ones again, and I will also talk about psychology. Computerization in terms of, again, technology being used everywhere for people who are interested in softwares and IT and all those sectors. We are giving suggestions to them also in the context of how you can apply this coding and whatever that you do to a variety of sectors. It need not be just banking and the typical traditional fields wherever it was used as automation and all that. But now you can probably have websites for multiple people. Okay, and then I could probably design a website for everyone, any sector. It could be banking, it could be tourism, it could be hotel industry, it could be anything. Okay, so wherever I have, whatever education I have, it is also getting applied to various settings. I can use my education in a different sector which I was interested in probably. So I am interested in say hardware and engineering and all those backgrounds, but I am not good at those things. So I really did not pursue engineering, and I don't want to do that. But now I'm a writer, for example, and I do content writing. Can I write things for a website of a company which sells products maybe, or something like that? Okay, so my career or my profession of writing something is getting applied to another sector. Okay, where I am getting the opportunity to write something very technical and something that I like to do, but I'm not actually doing the job. Okay, so that's a very good way of doing things. Same applies to something like tourism, for example. After the pandemic, a lot of virtual tours that I saw. Okay, so I am into software. I am into creating, visualizations, pictures, and videos, and all of that. But I don't like to travel as such. So can I be involved in virtual tours? Okay, so I still get to research about different places. I still get to explore different geographical areas and click pictures and all of that. But then I put them in a video together, and I have a virtual tour prepared, and I don't have to go there. I don't actually have to travel. Okay, so interdisciplinary work, application of one thing to various settings. Computerization got repeated by mistake. Okay, so these are things which are happening a lot across different fields. In computerization, again, you have things like artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is very upcoming. Okay, and the scope part that we were discussing, it's a very safe thing to do right now because it's going to have a great boost in the coming years. Okay, but am I going to be capable of doing learning artificial intelligence is something that I need to think about. Okay, there was a student in our college. She actually was interested in artificial intelligence and all those things. But she was not into engineering, of course, and not into the technical aspect. She completed her graduation in psychology. But then now there is something known as like a merger of psychology and artificial intelligence, because to create artificial intelligence, we are basically applying cognitive psychology theories, how the mind functions, how humans function. That is required to create an artificial intelligence or a robot or something. Okay, so how we can actually learn coding even as psychologists, but at a very limited level, which is related to our cognitive abilities. And I don't need to learn artificial intelligence directly. So she's actually, I don't remember the name of the course, but she's actually pursuing something like that. Okay, which is again interdisciplinary. So a lot of interdisciplinary, again, application based things that are coming up. So no matter what education you take, we don't have the limitation anymore that you have to be exactly in that field. Okay, you can apply it to hundreds of other places in whatever ways you want, and that is now actually looked at as a very unique thing to do, and it's very appreciated that you have started something different. Okay, so that is one thing. In psychology, if we talk about latest trends, I would put them under three headings. One is the second one that I've written, the research and academics part. So because the subject is gaining a lot of importance nowadays, and people realizing the importance of mental health, being more open to go to psychologists and so on, a lot of research is in place. And in India, you see a lot of research happening today. Academics is improving because more and more colleges, more and more institutes are coming up with courses in psychology. So if you want to get into teaching, you will it will be very easy to get a job, I think, because a lot of people are wanting to spread this knowledge and get more and more students into this subject, so that we can actually expand this profession. So this is one sector which is very academic, technical in the sense. There is also the practice that you do and where you can apply. So clinical, counseling, social, all of these have been very traditional branches, but now you have consumer psychology, sports psychology, forensic psychology, and so on. And in the last 3-4 years at least, I think there is a lot of increase in the number of students studying this, and then it is going to have an impact on the job market as well. So my friend, I was saying that she completed a diploma in forensic, but she did not have a job. If you are aware of the Gandhinagar Forensic Science Center Institute. She completed it there. Hers was the first or second batch, I think, and it's been 8 years now. And recently, last year, 2 years back, she got a job. Okay, but now those students who are going to take that education, we will have more jobs in say the CBI and different crime investigation branches and forensic labs and so on. So we are going to have that. Sports psychology has started as a master's course in India. Okay, plus the National Sports Academy, I think, had also opened up 2-3 posts last year for sports psychologists. So even that is something which is going to improve. At least at a private level, you will be able to get a lot of work. So a practical application of the subject is increasing. There is more security in doing something very unique and something that you like, because earlier people used to hesitate that I will not get jobs. Okay, but now the picture is improving, so that's another thing. And the third application part is into other sectors, the interdisciplinary that I was saying. So if we want to, expand this awareness about mental health and how important it is also important that we get into policy making. We are also into rehabilitation, so it's not just everything happening at a medical, biological, physical level. Okay, or even at the in the laws, whatever changes are required. So we have the Mental Health Act. Okay, and what changes need to be made there. So a lot of work happening in those sectors, in community health, in crisis management, and so on. Again, the pandemic being a huge contributor to people's understanding of how important this is. Okay, and people starting to feel lonely, people experiencing anxiety and OCD because of the pandemic. And then this application has also increased, where psychologists are open to people are open to having psychologists in different sectors, okay, as advisors and as people who contribute to how we can make mental health better. So that is another field if you want to combine another subject with psychology, okay, and then study both together. That will be all from my side. If there are any questions, we can take them up. I would like to hand over to Ms. Rajat.
Thank you so much. It was such an informative session, and it was not just theory based. You gave so many insightful examples. Thank you so much for the session. And continuing with what you were saying, I'm so happy, so glad to inform all of you that Symbiosis has developed a graduation course, a BSc course in mental health, and it's a very academically robust course. To be a little informal, when I first read about the course, I felt that I wish it had been there when I was started doing my graduation. It would have been so good, right? So it's a very beautiful amalgamation of theoretical knowledge as well as skills training, and it has 2 internships, which is very rare. A lot of focus isn't given on internships when it comes to BA courses, whereas this course it has 2 internships, which is very important for your future career. And this course could be a stepping stone to becoming a mental health professional. If um, helping other people, if you're very curious about people's minds, if that's something that interests you, this course is just the thing for you. And moreover, the best part about it is that you will how do I put it? It's a mixture of not just psychology, but there's public health, there's law, there are so many other beautiful subjects that are incorporated in this course as well. So I think I'll share a video. It's a short video that so the SKU director will be has spoken in detail about this course. So I'll just play it now. Please just let me know if you're able to hear the audio and video together.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Girija Mahale, consultant psychiatrist and head Symbiosis Center for Emotional Wellbeing, a department established under Symbiosis International University. I'm delighted to introduce to you our new academic program, BSc in Mental Health, a first of its kind in India that aims to create a new cadre of mental health professionals, which is the need of the hour. Our Chancellor and founder, Sir, Honorable Dr. S.B. Muzumdar, Sir, in one of his speeches said that mental health is going to be the future of healthcare industry. He, being a visionary, really inspired us and our team of mental health professionals to come up with this unique program, BSc in Mental Health, a 3-year full-time undergraduate degree program. A program that goes beyond psychology, that is in sync with global demand and opportunities. We believe that mental health is a truly multidisciplinary subject which cross sections with various disciplines and domains of life. Therefore, our courses are designed which include not only core concepts in mental health and various basic courses in psychology, such as developmental psychology, cognitive psychology, positive psychology, but it also includes courses on ethics and law in mental health, psychopathology, core counseling skills, collaborative case management in the community, courses on community mental health, as well as biological determinants of mental health. One of the core strengths of our curriculum is its robust experiential component. With pre-placement internships, a mental health advocacy project, outreach center at our own campus, and also a research project which is in line with the National Education Policy 2020. Once our graduate completes the program, they will have all the 21st century skill set that are required to be a good mental health professional, such as having effective communication skills, having the ability to think out of the box with critical thinking, as well as be a collaborator, which is a key component required to be a mental health professional. Along with this, the individuals will become empathic and compassionate, which are again key attributes of a good mental health professional. Once the student completes their graduation, they will have ample scope to specialize in various fields like counseling psychology, clinical psychology, as well as various specialties like child and adolescent mental health, geriatric mental health, community mental health in India as well as internationally. Moreover, the graduates will be workforce ready, which means that they will be able to work in the community as medical liaison officers or as case managers, where they will be a key partner to collaborate with various stakeholders required to effectively deal with mental health problems in some community. The program will be located at Arogyadhan campus at Lavle in Pune. And let me tell you, friends, the infrastructure is state of the art with various facilities such as gymnasium, swimming pool, a basketball court, tennis court, cricket court, etc., which will provide students with the right recreational opportunities in order to maintain a good study life balance. Another unique part of this program is that students from any stream, arts, commerce, or science, can apply for this program. The eligibility is 50% marks in your boards, along with a statement of purpose and an interview, which will be conducted by panelists. So, what are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and apply for BSc in Mental Health.
So this was the short video that we had prepared, and I'll put down the details of this video as well as contact details in the chat box. Um, I really want to thank you, ma'am, for taking out the time and explaining this topic, because see what ends up happening is after 12th you get really confused. There are so many people telling you so many different things, and making a decision becomes really difficult. So I'm sure the students, participants must have enjoyed listening to what you had to say. And in addition to that, they can go home with a lot of questions in their mind, so that they can now explore. Now they'll have their summer vacation, so that this is the time to explore what they want to do in the future. So if anybody has any questions, please put up in the chat box and we'll answer them.
There is a question about the allied health sciences. So I'll just mention that in hospital settings, you would find a lot of application of these programs. They may not have the exact scope as the mainstream fields that are again more traditional, in the sense they may not be very new right now and all that. But I think again we see a lot of interdisciplinary work happening, and again more and more specialization into something. That is something which we are trying to get into. So I think it will just keep on improving that way. And it's always better to look at colleges and universities, institutes which offer this, look at their placement record, speak to seniors, and that is more first-hand information that you may get about any scope of any field for that matter.
Thank you, ma'am. There's another question regarding the BSc course. I'll be putting up links right now regarding the details of the course. You can obviously visit the website and know more about the course. So just to answer your question in short, it is not like a counseling course. Counseling course is typically done on a master's level. This is a graduation course where we introduce the students to a lot of various fields, and it also gives you experience into how those fields look like. And then after this graduation course, you can choose whatever field interests you, and that's how you go about it. Any other questions? And the syllabus is will be put up on the website, so you can check the website and you will get the details of the syllabus there. Any other? If there are no other questions, then we'll close the session. All right. Okay. Yes, this course is launched by Symbiosis, and so it's not a master's course; it's a graduation course. It's a BSc course, Bachelor's of Science, and hopefully we'll soon also launch the MSc course as well. Uh, the BBA course, I do not have much information about the BBA course. That I think you'll have to visit the Symbiosis website and get to know more about the BBA course there. Any questions you want to ask, ma'am? All right then. So, okay. Ma'am, will the presentation be shared to the
Yeah, I
participants?
think I have shared it with you on email that can be forwarded. Okay.
Sure, sure. Okay, so we'll be sharing the presentation. It was a very good presentation, and see the way it was put, it was in a very simplistic way, so it's easier to understand. And like I said, the examples that you gave and the passion with which you spoke was really, really, really good. And I really thank you for this great session. I hope that we can collaborate in the future as well. And I
Definitely.
would really
I'm about to say the same, that this is again a topic that is very close to my heart. I'm basically into teaching, but whatever practice I do is more into career counseling than any other area. So, with again the amount of experience I've got, I think this is very close to my heart, and I love doing anything related to this. So, I also look forward to opportunities, and thank you very much for this session and the feedback. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, and thank you to all the participants who showed up on a Saturday, and they were so interactive. It was not a one-way session; it was a two-way session, which is always welcome. So thanks to all the participants for coming, and I'll put up, so we are streaming this on YouTube as well. So in the description and the comment section, I'll put out the details for this course as well, so that you can, if you're not able to find details here, you can check out the video on YouTube and get the details there as well. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you once again. Okay. All right.
Ma'am, can we close the meeting?
Yes, you can close it.